If anybody else would like to at this time, oh, perfect, put their cameras on. I think she is just arriving now, so this is perfect. Oh, it went away. There we go. Hello.
Hi.
It's nice to meet you. I am Elizabeth, and this is
Hi,
our
Elizabeth.
little club setup so far.
Very nice. Hi, everybody.
This is our teacher sponsor, Miss Kornacki.
Hi, that's me. Thank you so much for coming, but I am very much just the observer and I let the students run the show.
No problem.
This is great.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to meet you. I'm so excited. This is going to be great. So we have about the 7 questions that I emailed you before set up, and we're just going to go back and forth and then ask them and then get your response, and we'll like take our little notes.
Oh, for sure. No, you take the lead, and if there's additional questions to my responses to your questions, that's entirely up to you how you want to ask, or ask away. I'm an open book, so.
Perfect. All right. So, Andrew, would you like to lead us out the gate and open or ask our first question?
Sure, I would. To what extent has the pandemic affected Meals on Wheels operations?
Okay, that's an excellent question. So just to introduce myself, my name is Christine Brush. I'm the program supervisor for the VON Windsor Essex Meals on Wheels program. I've been working with VON for 20 years now, in multiple capacities with different programs, and with Meals on Wheels specifically, I've been involved with supervising that program for the last 6 years. So I've seen how the program has worked. I've been part of it pre-COVID and now with COVID. So to explain your question number 1, COVID has greatly affected how our program had operated at a regular level. So before COVID, we had daily hot meal delivery by volunteers. So we would send out about 180 meals each day to seniors and clients in the city of Windsor. And we would have about 30 volunteers each day that would deliver the meal to the client, go into the client's home, have some small conversation with the client, make sure the client's okay. When they're done their meal route, they would check in with us if they had any concerns or questions, you know, and continue on. And the next day would be another batch of volunteers. So 30 volunteers each day. I'd have a repository of over 250 volunteers to have access to, right? Just to get the meals out for the geography that we have. So the program served also as a check-in point, right? Because they formed bonds, they formed relationships with the clients, and they would be regular volunteers. So Monday it would be Jane, and she always did route 1 on Mondays, and route 2. So there was a lot of consistency. So that's why there would be friendships. Now, once the pandemic started, we needed to assess, okay, can we continue to run the program? Can we continue to run the program safely for our clients as well as for our volunteers? So to share with you, the age bracket of our volunteers is as young as 18 and as old as 91 years of age.
Wow.
So yeah, so you want to make sure that we can keep everybody safe. So we've had to change our model. So we don't deliver meals every single day. We deliver meals once a week on a Tuesday, and we only offer frozen meals. So the client can order as many meals as they want for that week because it's a single day drop off on a Tuesday. And they would simply, let the meals thaw out and put them in the microwave and heat them up when they want. So some clients might order 5 meals, some clients might order 7. It's up to the client. And it's contactless delivery. So now, to ensure that the volunteer and the client is safe, the volunteers will deliver the meal, step back for physical social distancing, and they're not allowed into the client's homes as well. So we have to keep it very safe for both and at a distance. So yes, the clients respect and appreciate the new rules for their own safety, but I think in some ways, There's a little bit of a small disadvantage from the clients because they're missing that social interaction, that small chat, which is very important for some of these clients because some of these clients may have little or no family, and that, weekly visit was important to them. So we've had to change how our program operated now. So I have now 35 volunteers who deliver on a Tuesday, who are safe to continue to want to deliver, because honestly too, I had to respect some volunteers when COVID started. They didn't feel comfortable wanting to be out in the community because they just weren't sure at the start, and they needed to kind of be safe and think about it. So I'm very grateful that we've never stopped services. We've continued to feed everybody, but we've had to adapt, and it's working. It's working.
That's great. Thank you. I think totally, like, it must be very hard for the people who are used to depending on that, like, social element. So for our second question, Aisha?
Hello. Okay, so what first got you interested for working on Vaughn and Meals on Wheels?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I've been with VON for over 20 years, and I've worked in multiple capacities with VON. I started at reception. I was a planner for visiting nurses. Then I moved into the community support sector, which has a lot of community-focused programs such as Meals on Wheels, volunteer visiting, telephone assurance. So I kind of had the opportunities once I was in the umbrella of VON, because we have so many diverse programs that don't just only include nursing programs, that I felt that, especially with Meals on Wheels, when that position was available, I knew it was something that I really cared for. I'm a people person. I'm not afraid to talk, I'm sure, as you guys are hearing. And I loved the fact that, there's so much of a diverse way of operating the program, because not only are you speaking to volunteers who are people who still work, people who are retired, then you've got the clients from all different realms and aspects, and you've got the staff. You work in the office, you're out working in the community, you're at the kitchen location working with the chefs and meals and menu planning. So it's a very diverse program, and I'm happy to be within it and to continue to make it grow and to continue to help people. It's a very positive feeling when someone says, I didn't have an appetite before Meals on Wheels, and now I love the food, and I'm really, really grateful, and I love this is my favorite meal. Sometimes you get those other people that, I didn't like such and such, and that's okay. We all have our differences and our preferences, right? So you take the comments with some of the suggestions and you balance it out. But yeah, I just felt with VON and Meals on Wheels and the people component is important to me on a personal level.
Great. Jacob, would you like to ask our third question?
Oh yeah, especially as someone who's, getting into this sort of nonprofit stuff, what advice would you give to people looking to get more into nonprofit fields?
Okay, so I think when you work in the nonprofit field, you need confidence. You need to be able to think outside of the box and to take risks. You don't have an extreme budget. A lot of the times we have to write grants so that we can have the funds available to offer subsidized funding for clients, to start different areas of pilot programs to see if it's something that the community and our clients would benefit from. So you learn to be creative in getting the most out of what little you may have in resources. So it's kind of like a big puzzle, and you need to find that proper piece to make it work, and you stretch your dollars. And it's ironic because, even with my staff that I have, like we don't waste anything. Like, we really don't waste anything. If there's a piece of paper that came out of the printer and it didn't print correctly, that's going to be our scrap paper that we need to take little notes on, because We appreciate the funds that we get, especially when we accept a lot of donations from donors. If people pass, then you're welcome to leave your request to the organization VON. So we want to make sure that if donations and fundraising happens, which is a major component of the nonprofit sector, we want to stretch those dollars and make the best use of it and get the most outcome. And that's client care, client-centered care, and positive outcomes. So just got to be a little creative, and you'd be surprised that, when you put your brains together with a great team, what you can do with not as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's even something like we've been experiencing, and as our first project is rolling through, like stretching the dollar and really
Yeah.
like actively collaborating is definitely a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Burhan, would you like to ask our fourth question?
Yeah, sure. What are the general demographics of your client base? Like, which groups in your community are in most need of aid from organizations like Vaughan?
Okay, so with VON, as I mentioned, with our types of programming that we have, there's nursing and there's community support. So we believe in helping all demographics of clients, whether or not you're a young child, a new mom, or a senior. We have programs that can affect everyone. So the majority of our clientele, just because of the type of need they may have, are seniors. But it doesn't mean that you have to be a senior to benefit a certain program. Now, the criteria specifically for Meals on Wheels, as mandated, is that they are to be seniors, someone with a chronic disability, someone needing short assistance due to respite care. So maybe you're a caregiver and you're trying to help someone and you're feeling a little burnt out, you would qualify. We'll send you some meals as well. Those going through cancer treatments that just need some good health and nutrition. So within each program, there's always some little eligibility parameters, but no one necessarily would be turned away. We just want to make sure that it would be best suited for that eligibility. So we have a lot of demographics. In addition, VON also has the Ontario Student Nutrition Program that we facilitate. So some schools have breakfast or lunch clubs. So VON, the Southwest, VON houses that, where they filtrate money from the government to allow those nutrition programs to happen in the schools. So you can see where we have children and we have seniors and everyone in between.
Yeah, that's great. And it's nice to have showing as well, like nobody's turned down, right? There's just boxes.
And there's the flexibility in our programs because it doesn't mean anything has to be long term. So with Meals on Wheels, there's so much flexibility. If a client wants short-term assistance and 2 meals a week or 1 time a week, or maybe they say, you know what, I've got enough, or I've got my daughter-in-law who's helping me, and they take a break and then they may come back later on. That's okay, because needing help or wanting help is 2 different things, and it's just us giving you that support, because our motto is wanting you to continue to age and be happy and to live in your own home, and that's our goal. And we're very, very thankful in the clients that we have. It's really sad to read in the obituaries that we lost so-and-so and we lost so-and-so, that they passed away. But when you turn around and you look at it from another angle and you're like, wow, they got to stay in their home the entire time. And we were a part of that, because if we didn't see them every day and we didn't give them the food and they didn't talk to their family with concerns or updates, they might have gone to a retirement home or to a nursing home and not have been happy. So at least we were a part of helping to facilitate that. So yeah, that's just a good feeling. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but definitely that nurturing that autonomy and being able to hold on to that as you get older is such a thing. And it's such a fear as younger people, because we're so disconnected from it. We don't even understand it all. We can't even imagine how that would feel. So it's a great opportunity to get sort of a window into that world. Tatiana, would you like to ask our 5th question?
Yes. What is the coordination and distribution process like, and what are some logistical difficulties faced by the Meals on Wheels team?
Okay, so the coordination and distribution process. So with Meals on Wheels, our catchment area is the city of Windsor. And what we have is a map of the city, and we've divided it into 15 different areas or routes. So when a client wants to come on service, we need to take a look to see where they live, what route they would be placed on, and that route is then assigned a volunteer. Now with COVID and our volunteers, we only have a single driver and a server, so we then need to make sure, okay, we don't want anyone on the road longer than 45 minutes. For multiple reasons. You don't want food to dethaw. And you know what, it's a lot of work to kind of pay attention to where you're driving, walk up to the home, knock, leave, it's just a lot. So, do we need to make more routes or less routes? Things of that. Are there any special instructions from the client? So sometimes clients are like, I won't hear the doorbell, knock on the side window by the back door. Okay, we'll honor that because we want to make sure the client's there to get their food. So there's a lot of coordination in making sure that we have our volunteers first and foremost to deliver these meals. And on a Tuesdays, we average between 800 and 1,200 meals, frozen meals that go out to just under 200 clients. So, the packaging, sorry, I'm getting all over the map here. So we need to make sure we place the clients on routes. We have available volunteers committed to those routes. We then need to notify our kitchen of the number of meals that are needed to go out. And we do honor client requests. So for instance, a client might need their meals minced or their meals pureed or chopped, or maybe there's an allergy or a dietary intolerance. So all of that information has to be given to our chefs in advance so that they can prepare those special meals and label them for those clients. And then on the Mondays, the staff and myself, we will actually go to the kitchen and we will package all of these meals for each client. So we package them in paper grocery bags, the top paper ones, and they're labeled with the client's name and their route number and everything sorted in the freezer. And then Tuesday, the volunteers have set times where they come to the kitchen and we'd have to pull all those meals out. We load our volunteers' cars, so we load up their trunks. We have their route lists printed, and they're printed in the order of their delivery so that we don't have them driving around in the area incessantly. It's very structured because we want to keep them on the road as less as possible, and we want to make their route as easy as possible as well. So that's the coordination and the distribution process for sure. Logistical difficulties faced by the Meals on Wheels team: shortage of volunteers. If we're short volunteers, I reach out to staff and we jump on it and we do it. We have to feed these people. We need to. That's our main responsibility. Some of the other logistics too is sometimes if we have some clients with very complex palettes or needs, sometimes we can't help them, and it's really sad to say, but like for instance, somebody who's gluten-free, the kitchen, in talking with the kitchen, we can't honor that. It's just too much of a risk liability in such a large kitchen. We just can't. Now we can honor vegetarian style meals, but something that's sensitive as a gluten sensitivity, with cross-contamination, we can't honor that. So, there's some difficulties that we faced on that aspect. Could we change that in the future? Perhaps, but not at this point in time. So we've really had to, especially with COVID, we've had to work remotely. We've had to work with home-based offices and grabbing what we think we need, or if there's something we need from the office, we would have designated times to quickly grab to do what we can. So again, thinking outside of the box and making it work to the best that we can, because nobody outside, clients and volunteers, they don't know what we have to do to make it work, nor do they need to. But at the end of the day, We want to make everybody as happy as possible and stress-free as possible, because our volunteers are the heart of our program. Without our volunteers, we wouldn't be successful. We wouldn't have enough manpower to feed those people in the city of Windsor.
Yeah. And that's so true, like with the because it's not like it's precarious, right? Because it's so perfectly structured, but definitely like with volunteers and everything like that, like it needs to get out and it needs to be done in such a way. So Aisha, would you like to ask number 6?
All right, so in your opinion, what elements of the Meals on Wheels program is the most impactful for your clients or the community?
Okay, so I think the most impactful element of our program is the human interaction, that face-to-face contact, that smile, that reliability, that predictability. Because when we accept our clients, we ask for 2 emergency contacts. One needs to be local, because if we were to make a delivery and nobody answered the door, or we would try calling, if still no answer, we would call your emergency contacts, things of that sort. So here's an example I'm going to share with you that just happened last week. So we had a 91-year-old client who didn't answer the door. And we were concerned, and we called. There was no ring. We called his emergency contact, which was his daughter, and his daughter lives in LaSalle. And we called her and we said, we've got so-and-so's meals here. He's not answering the door. She's like, okay, no problem. Thanks for letting me know. You know what? I was just about to go see him. I'm going to go now instead of later. Sure enough, he had fallen. And so I'm glad she reacted in the time frame that she did. And he did need to go to hospital because of the fall. So that reliability, I think that's a comfort measure for some of our families, especially if family members work outside of Windsor. Like we've got, families in Toronto and this and that, and then they know that we will call you if we have any concerns. And our volunteers, they're our eyes and ears too. So if they say, so-and-so didn't look too good today, or they shared this with me, we document that, and if we need to redirect them to other programs within VON or outside VON, we'll certainly give them that information. That's when I would reach out to them. But we also keep their family informed if there's anything we're concerned of. So nutrition is important, food is important, and but I think that human interaction just highlights the food, because everything tastes better with food. Right? You're with people and you eat and it tastes great. But when you're by yourself and it's not the same, right? It's not the same thing. So I think that's the most impactful piece too, is it's just to kind of keep people happy, and again, keeping people in their home as long as possible. So if they're eating nutritious food from us, then that's a peace of mind for them and for their family. So the meals that we give them, we provide them with a soup, a main entree. So the entree is a vegetable, a starch, and a protein. We give them a bun or a roll or a piece of bread, and as well as a dessert. So some people will just have the soup and the bun for supper, and they might save the main entree for dinner. So at least they're eating something consistently and freshly prepared.
And definitely like that, having that person or group of people who genuinely are caring about you and looking out for you while maintaining that independence and autonomy, definitely very impactful for people. And then it says me for number 7. So what, in your opinion, can the incoming generation do to help/progress the support programs in our community?
Volunteer. When you have an understanding of how people live, what people need, it helps you to stay connected. It helps you to find a purpose and a meaning. because really life is kind of a complete full circle. At some point in time, that could be you needing meals. That could be you helping somebody with getting their groceries. That could be you delivering that item for that neighbor. That could be you then needing somebody helping you. So it kind of facilitates a respect for aging and for being kind and for helping. And I think if we understand by giving a small lost for words, yeah, just reaching out, just, you know, keeping an open mind of facilitating kindness and helping, and that'll go a long way. And you guys are very young, and by all means, you know, when I was your age, did I think of this? No, but I wasn't privy to it, really, right? So I wasn't exposed to it. So to have this group like this and how you guys meet and trying to make a difference, that's incredible, really. I mean, kudos to all of you for thinking outside of the box and facilitating and making a difference in supporting philanthropy, because that's what makes the world go round. So I want to commend all of you, because that's pretty impressive to sit with me and to ask me questions and learn something. I hope if anything at the end of today, you, not just to learn about Meals on Wheels, but just to understand the clientele and the needs and how life is. So.
Mm-hmm. This is great. This has been a really great opportunity as well. Thank you so much for like coming in and meeting with us. This has been wonderful.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I kind of talked to a lot, so I'm sorry. Does anybody have any like side questions other than the ones on the screen? Because I think I kind of threw a lot at you.
Definitely like I saw some people were like definitely taking notes. I'm sure Aisha was like she takes really good, like wonderful notes. So our meetings always have these like perfect minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Burhan, you have your little hand up?
Sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute there for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, was there any times where you like weren't able to get like the meals across on time, or something happened and you weren't able to actually deliver all the meals to everybody, or
That's
how
an
did that work?
excellent question. So before COVID or during COVID, I will give you an example. So if there's an extreme snowy, weathery day, and we let our clients know this in advance, we say, you know what, if the snow is coming down hard and they canceled school buses, we will notify AM 800 and they'll post it on the radio station. We'll call you as well. But if it's not safe, we can't put our volunteers in an unsafe issue and risk them falling and hurting themselves, knowing that their ages are somewhat the same ages of our clients. So we've had to do that once in a while. Usually once every winter, we might have a real bad snow day. And then we'll deliver to them the next day. We say, do you have food in your house? Do you have a can of soup? Do you have something? Oh yeah, I'm good, no problem. I can't get my sidewalk shoveled, things of that. So we've had that circumstance that has come up. Another day we had a power outage at the kitchen. The transistor outside blew up and the kitchen had no power for the entire day. Like they couldn't do anything. So therefore we couldn't make the meals to heat them up to send them out. So we had to call our clients and let them know of that situation. Are you okay? You know, do you want us to give you a frozen dinner to get by, or we'll just give you the rest of your meals you would have got today, tomorrow. So it was fine. Our clients are very flexible with that because again, things happen that are not always in your control. And you know, ironically, the clients were laughing. They're like, "Did you forget to pay the hydro bill?" You know, and we're like, "No." So sometimes those little nuances will come up, and then you're like, "Okay, who really needs help? Who's okay?" And there's been times where myself and my staff, we've gone out to those few clients who said, I really don't have anything, and we will go get, you know, we'll find a way. We'll get what we have. I usually like to keep some frozen meals always available, especially for those emergencies, because I can kind of roughly identify in advance who those clients are, and we'll make sure to call those first to see if they're the ones that would identify that they need that help. But an excellent question. And again, you can't control the elements, you can't control the environment. So yeah, good question.
Yeah. Andrew, you have your hand up?
I have two questions. First of all, I'd like to say, I will admit I did not take any notes because I didn't sign up for the writing part of the newsletter. Was that a bad mistake on my part?
No, you're okay. We've got many people taking their notes, and I think just experiencing it with our ears and being like enjoying our little discussion is good enough.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And also, you said volunteer is the number one thing I can do. What can I do really to volunteer? Like, what if I want to volunteer? What can I do?
Okay.
What can anyone do to volunteer?
Okay, so with the organization of VON, we use volunteers in a lot of different capacities. So with Meals on Wheels specifically, we use drivers and servers. So the driver's duty is to drive the car, as it says. The server's duty or role is to actually take the meal and take it to the client and have that small conversation. Now that it's COVID, I have that role merged as one because I do not put two different households in the same car, just out of the circumstances again. And this is just a change in how our delivery model is. So I welcome students. I have college students. I have university students. I know at the secondary level, obviously you're in school right now, but I welcome having students help during the summer. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't need to be a daily commitment. It could just be when you have that opportunity, no problem. Because as I said, the age span of our volunteers is incredible. And with our student volunteers that we have, it's amazing how much you as students would learn from our more senior volunteers, because our more senior, more experienced volunteers love students and the stories they tell and the scenarios they share while volunteering with VON. As I said, we value our volunteers. We give them appreciation dinners and galas every year. We give them awards for years of service. We're always appreciating our volunteers. So volunteer hours, time, recognition, we strongly believe in that. And that's why we've got volunteers. I have volunteers who have volunteered as long as 42 years this year.
Wow.
So some people just want to continue to give because they enjoy the people that they're working with and the clients that they're seeing.
David?
So my question is, if someone else is thinking about creating a program just like this, what would be a great starting foundation to further help people in the community?
I think you need to know who do you want to help? What's the clientele? Is it needed as well? So you kind of need to do a needs assessment. What is needed? Why is it needed? How can you deliver it? And what are the key components you need? So you do need a budget. You need support. Can you write a grant? Can you approach someone in the private sector to sponsor? There's a lot of different thinking involved now with Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels has been with VON Windsor since 1971. So Meals on Wheels is a trademark program that's across Canada and the US. And we've been able to have a part of that program that we offer in the way that it's intended. So to create something from scratch is awesome. It's super, super, super cool. Just need to have some support and some knowledge, and I think the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm. This is great. Let's see. Do we have any more final questions trickling in, or are we good to begin our little wrap up?
If we're good, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this, Christine. This is amazing, and I'm so glad that us as a group of student leaders get to help change the world and make the world a better and more peaceful place. After all, that's the IB's motto. But even if you're not an IB, we're still all here to make the world a better place. And thank you, Christine, for being such an amazing guest.
Thank you. Oh, I was so happy to speak with Elizabeth and coming out.
Yeah, this is great. This has been so lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're probably good. We did our little housekeeping stuff earlier, but so I know you guys probably have to get back to doing homework. Yay!
Well, if there's anything you need, Elizabeth, you can reach out to me on behalf of your team. If you have any other further questions, if you need any resources or anything, I'm not sure what you're preparing on your end after this call, but I'm more than willing to give you any information. And V1 does have a website as well, so you'll be able to see the other types of programs, including Meals on Wheels, as well, if that's something that you need. But I look forward to helping you guys with anything, and I'm super excited and appreciative that you as a young group of teens are facilitating this and learning and not shy to learn. So good for you.
Yes. Thank you very, very much, Christine. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure Elizabeth's going to say that again, but we appreciate your time because we know that and we appreciate how much you do for our community.
Thank you. Thank you all.
This is great. Okay.
Are we going? Is it time now?
I think we're probably wrapping up now, Andrew. Yep.
Okay, I was just wondering because I just wanted to say bye to everyone. That's all. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
So I will hit the little hang up button then. We're
All
good?
right, bye.
Okay.
Thanks
Thanks,
so much.
everybody. Okay.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Journée. Passez une bonne journée. I can speak. Wow, I suck at French. Darn it.
I'm gonna head out as well. Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Have a great night,
evening,
everyone.
everybody.
See y'all in person tomorrow because school's in person these days.
That is true.
That went well. I hope
It
people
was
took
great.
notes. Actually, think it
did
worked
You guys
out.
did awesome.
Hey,
Well,
Elizabeth.
thank you.
Hey, quick question. Did I miss anything? Because I came in
How
a little
when did you
late.
get here?
I got here like, I don't know,
Here.
6:40, 50-ish.
Oh.
I missed a
6:40?
lot. I'm so
That's not
sorry.
that
I'll
bad.
send
We have a
you-
recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I send you this file or something? Like, what can I send you this on? Because I took a few notes of just what she said. If you want me to get that to you, I can.
The recording in its
hopefully-
full length as well should be right in the Teams, the team on Teams, which seems redundant. But if you go to our YCP team that I created that this meeting's in,
I see. Okay.
it should be the full recording, which I can end at any time you want, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day. All right, I'm gonna get headed out. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yes, this is great. Thank you for participating.
Yep.
This was
See you
lovely,
guys.
everybody. Bye-bye.